We could jump into it if you guys want to, but I
I
don't
don't
know.
care.
I
That
like
was a
catching
voice
up a little
crack.
bit every week. Dude, it's all good. Devin will just enhance it and make a whole short out of it.
And that'll be the one that goes viral.
I don't care. I don't care.
That was a voice crack.
Bruh, you're such a nerd. Dude,
yeah.
we've been averaging
As
like
it do.
well, I guess that's on the gaming channel. Our pretty much average minimum views when we put a short up now is like 1K.
Which is
That's nice.
pretty good.
And then we're sponsored, as you know, Nate, because you're in the group chat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, these guys got their first sponsor today.
technically,
finalized
well,
it.
our first gaming channel sponsor,
Yeah.
and then we've had one on the pod, which Ben ruined for us. Turns out they really liked the ad we did, and they wanted to do more stuff, but Ben missed the email.
Oh no.
It
Ben,
got buried,
is that-
and then he found it 8 months later and was like, "Well, anyways."
Is that why he's no longer a host?
No, he just didn't have. Yes, we fired him. That's
Fired.
why we fired
He
Ben.
fumbled the first sponsor ever, and so he was out of there.
Gone. Some manager he is. By the way,
Ejected.
Nate, Riverside went through this morning, so
Yes,
you know,
and I
YouTube
remembered
in
as
15.
during the whole like sponsor group chat thing and everything, I was telling my wife about it. I was like, "Oh, they got a sponsor on their gaming channel,"
Yeah,
and then I was like, "I gotta Venmo Taylor."
that's all good. I don't think Dev realized. So, your wife commented on one of our shorts. It's the one where
Yeah.
we hit you with the steel pipe. I don't think Dev realized that was your wife.
Oh yeah. No, she said "womp," and then he was like "wampus."
So yeah, that was pretty fun.
That was just today, actually.
Scott, you're so tense, man. Chill. We're
Yeah.
just having a good time.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm more so
Lord.
watching the audio thing and
it's kind of
I-
fun, huh?
testing stuff out and adjusting my audio. The stream
Gotcha.
when I stream again, it's going to be fun because I have right now. I have all my inputs turned way down, so I might need to go into OBS and figure out a way to turn that input up because it's to help cut out some background noise because
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have a decent bit of that for a while. That's all I can figure out.
Did you figure out a new way to set your stuff up once your brother gets home?
He got back today, so that's why I was messing with stuff.
Yeah.
But I
By
don't
the
know.
way, this is Scott. He streams. He's one of our buddies we game with. He's quite often on my stream, so his channel will be linked in the description. You guys should check it out.
Do you have the link for that? So I think it's in our group chat. But they're
Do
just
you know
the
how
chat
easy
between.
it is to just go to Google, go to
That's true,
YouTube,
too.
and go Shadow Realm Gaming. Grab.
Well,
the-
I was having a trouble there for a while to people finding
yeah, it's
it.
because you were a new channel. It's hard to find. You need the ads for a new channel, so we'll make sure we put the right link down
Yeah.
there. I'll send it to Dev if you can't find it. So you want to actually bring us in?
Let's do it. Yeah, I forgot how we do it. Oh yeah, no, I remember.
Hey guys,
Hi everybody.
welcome back. New face. Even though I already introduced him and Dev probably put it in, I'm doing it again. I guess I'm pointing this way, but that's because that's where he is for me.
On my
Probably
screen, he's
for
over here.
you guys, he's like right here. If not right there, then he's right here. And if not right
Or
here, then he's
there.
or right here, then he's
There.
right over here. Dev, have fun editing that.
Oh, it'd
Yeah.
be great, Dev. No pressure. But to just like switch Scott all over the screen depending on where Taylor's like pointing. We'll see if he does
That
it.
would be funny.
There's your challenge.
Doink, 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 doink.
Oh, it's gonna be fun to watch this back.
Yeah.
We love making. Yeah, he's moving this weekend too, so we love
Oh,
making his life
so-
harder.
Any extra
R.I.P.
like stuff we can heap on his plate, the better.
Oh yeah. Also, Dev, I'm sorry to say it, man, but in that video, you can't actually really see the taser hit your arm. So I still don't believe you. You went to show us the mark, and we couldn't see it because of your lighting. So
Get better
I don't
lighting,
think
I
you
guess.
actually did it.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
So it's
He
got to be.
needs better lighting.
He tased himself
He
for a
needs a
video
Google
because he
Doc
messed
on
in
the second
editing
screen.
up. Google Doc on the second stream. Yes. So sorry, Dev, but I don't believe you.
Do it again right now.
Do it again.
Insert
Dude, by
clip.
the end, Devin's just gonna be tasing himself every other day. I
Just have,
swear.
like, burn marks all over.
Oh my god! Oh jeez! Oh my god! Nah, didn't do it. That's a sunburn.
We'll just have to get him one of those like dog shot collars and have him strap it on his arm just every time.
Nah, that wasn't a real taser action. That must be broken. Sorry.
Or him
Never
earn that
believe
title
him,
of
poor
Dev is
Devin.
afraid.
Dev will be afraid by the time we're done with him. Love you, Dev.
Chaka's about to be crazy, bro.
Also, Dev, it is critical to this podcast, this episode specifically, that we occasionally just like rotate. So like, if you can like flip us upside down every so often, and like flip us right back up, backside up again, like
We're not going to cue you for it though. You're just going to have to
Right.
do that.
you just gotta like,
Figure it out.
yeah. Otherwise, the topic's ruined for the week. So you've got to do that.
You've just got to figure it out, man. We believe in you.
I quit.
Have fun moving.
Good luck. I can't help you.
Yeah, have fun moving.
Our topic. I decided it would be fun. Actually, at first I was trying to like come up with like the next game, because I feel like that's kind of like what I usually bring to these topics is like a game of sorts.
Yeah, I usually do some sort of game as well. It's just fun.
Yeah, it's fun. And so I had an idea for a game, but I was like, I feel like I could do a lot of games. So instead, we are going to read. I've went and what's the word? It's like curate. There we go. I've gone and curated 5 posts from Reddit, 5
Okay.
AITA stories for those in the know. Basically, just we're gonna read these stories where people are asking, "Hey, like, am I in the wrong here or not?" And we're gonna pass judgment on them.
Am I the a-hole?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
yeah.
Bro, those are my favorite to listen to on TikTok. It's just scroll through and just sit there and listen. It's like, bruh, how do you find yourself in these situations?
Yeah, some of them
Yeah.
like were pretty wild.
It's like, wow, you
I
guys
think-
are psycho.
I think we got some good ones.
Okay.
I tried to get like a variety here, but
Is there one about an alligator robbing a McDonald's?
no. But if you find
Aw.
yourself training an alligator to rob a McDonald's, you are the a-hole. I'll just put that out there now.
You just
Coming to Florida near you.
Yeah.
Well,
Coming to you.
you didn't see that Florida Man story one then. Wow, this guy, what a friend is he? I invite him onto the podcast. He hasn't even been listening or watching.
It's all right. He's bringing that fresh perspective.
Doesn't even know about the giant hamster wheel across the Atlantic Ocean.
No, because I don't pay attention to cross-continental news.
Attention to cross-continental
Oof.
news.
Oh, this is gonna be this entire thing is just voice crack
You
central.
just say
Hey,
it was Taylor's
I mock
auto-tune.
myself when my voice cracks. Okay, it's all good.
And if I would talk more, I'd probably go away, but I don't talk that much.
I talk too much.
We know.
Yeah.
I know you know.
You started a
All of you
podcast,
know.
man. Everybody knows.
I can't do silence for too long. And that's just me.
Well, then let's get started.
Okay.
So, story number 1. Taylor, this might trigger you being the. I guess I don't know. Scott might be a parent. I don't know it, but Taylor's a parent.
This is
So-
true. Scott's definitely not a parent.
Okay.
If I do have kids, someone
That's a
guys.
He's a
surprise.
virgin, bro.
Okay, thank you for outing me
Okay,
on
wow.
live television.
Yes, because this is live and television.
So the title of the first story is Am I the a-hole for refusing to change somebody's baby's diaper?
Is it your
Let's-
baby?
Let's find out.
Well, let's hear the
Um,
story.
My wife and I have been married for 10 plus years and have a few kids. Sister-in-law and her husband had a baby 2 years ago. No major complaints. They just tend to ask people for to do stuff that I think that they would do themselves. They'll come over to our house. They live an hour away, and they'll ask ahead of time if we can have their favorite or their kids' favorite crackers on hand. Why they don't just pack the crackers, I don't know. They're well off. Money's not an issue. If one of them leaves the room, they'll ask one of us, my wife or kids, to be in charge of the baby, even if the other parent's right there just scrolling on their phone or something. But whenever I say something to my wife, she says I'm being too much. The other day, we were having a dinner at mother-in-law's house when the baby had a poopy diaper. Sister-in-law looks at me and says in the sweetest voice, "Uncle, my name, can you change the diaper?" She frequently does this when we're there, but this was the first time I was asked. I answered politely, "No, I'm sorry, I don't do that." "You don't do diapers?" "No, I don't do other people's kids' diapers if their mom or dad is around. I mean, if I'm babysitting, sure thing. But yeah, if the parents are around, I just feel like it's their job." Sister-in-law looks like she's ready to cry. Well, I feel selfish. I smiled to try to set her at ease. Not trying to make you feel anyway, just telling you a boundary. The table got really awkward as she got up and did the diaper. Afterwards, my wife blamed me for making sister-in-law feel bad and said I could have just changed the diaper. Not trying to make anyone feel bad, but I've had 3 kids and I always took responsibility. I watched them, I packed for them, I changed them. I'm not looking to be a secondary parent for this kid. Judgment
Okay.
time. What do you guys think?
So, first off, I just noticed that your thing says help, he has autotune.
Yeah.
But to the story, no. Absolutely not. This guy
That
is not the a-hole. Let me put this simply. If it's your child, of course, change the diaper. I ask my siblings sometimes to help out, but if they say no, that's fine. It's okay. Like if my child has a dirty diaper and I'm in the middle of something, I might be like, say I'm washing the dishes, whatever. Oh, hey, would you mind changing that real quick? But if they say no, all right, that's fine. I'll just leave it for a sec, finish what I'm doing, change the diaper. But oh my gosh, asking them to
But to,
keep
like,
their
expect
child's
them to,
crackers
yeah.
on hand and expect it, that just sounds like entitlement. And I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, his response was completely justified.
Totally.
Yeah.
But I'd be curious to see be a fly on the wall for more than those conversations because it sounds like
Because it sounds like there's a lot more than just asking for diaper changes.
Yeah.
yeah. It seems normal in that family.
Yeah, it seems like this person is used to what they want, they get. And so when they didn't do that, that's what actually caused the awkward reaction at the table.
Yeah.
But because it can't ever be their fault, blame got placed on OP here. And no,
Yeah.
OP, I do not think you're the a-hole.
And I think we all agree.
Mhm.
I will say, to sister-in-law's credit, she didn't make it into a big thing. She got up, she did it. She didn't like.
It
I
sounds
guess
like
we don't
she
have
didn't-
any like
She didn't make
documentation
it
here.
vocally into a big thing. It sounds
Right.
like maybe there was some passive aggressiveness in her. I don't know, obviously, because it didn't include details. But just from the tone, it sounds like maybe there was some passive aggressive body language there.
I would
But I
be
don't know if it's
interested.
true.
There is.
Yeah, I would be interested to see some like follow-up action on what happened to see if it was like revenge style, like subtle revenge.
And
Yeah.
especially with them just being all at dinner, like it's just as much of an inconvenience for OP to get up and change the diaper as it is for mom to change the diaper. Like I've changed my niece's diaper before for my sister, but she was in the middle of making dinner and helping my mom out in the kitchen. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just change diaper for you. Cool, diaper change. But if we were all sitting at the dinner table and we were all eating and she looked at me and was like, hey, my child pooped, can you go change their diaper? I would be like,
What?
I love you, but you can do that, or your husband can do that. That's your child.
I could understand if it was just like the mom was there and they had like another kid and it's like, can you watch this kid while I go like change my other kid's diaper, or can you go change diaper so I can watch the other kid or something like that?
Yeah,
Not just
Right.
you have one kid, your partner's there as well.
Or if they were like brand new parents, and she is just frazzled out of her mind and like literally at her
I need
wit's
a
end,
break. But if that happens, it's usually
Sure.
like, please watch this child for like an hour. I need to breathe. And that's, I get that. I get that. But like
But in
with
this case,
twins,
there's
I'll
a
ask people to
pattern
help out
going
sometimes
on,
too. But
It's a single child and both parents were there, it sounds like. Like one, like
yeah,
you're
that's
both
just a
parents.
trade-off.
Yeah.
To this parent, not OP, but OP's sister-in-law, I dare you to try twins. You're gonna go insane.
Twins or triplets.
I'll
Like-
ask people to help out, but there is no expectation of a yes.
Yeah.
So, and there
So,
shouldn't
OP.
be, and it sounds like there is.
Not
OP,
me.
I don't think you're the a-hole.
Nephew, niece, whatever you are, good luck.
Yeah, have fun with that.
Um,
Please don't turn into an entitled.
Yeah. All
A rich
right.
and child brat.
Story 2. Am I the a-hole for not letting my landlord's wannabe handyman son fix my clogged sink? My kitchen sink was clogged last night, so I called the landlord. He said I'll send someone over first thing in the morning. Sure enough, someone did show up, but it wasn't a plumber like I expected. It was his son. He looked at the sink, took a few pictures, and literally posted them on Reddit after watching a YouTube video. I asked if he was an handyman or a plumber. He said, "Nah, I'm a student studying accounting. Don't worry, I'll have this fixed. I'm still learning." He sat around for a while, then came to me and said he'd be back in an hour because he needed to buy tools from Home Depot. I told him that wouldn't be necessary and asked him to leave the house. I later called the landlord and told him he needed to hire a professional, not send over his son who has zero skills or qualifications to fix the issue. He responded with, "I don't see the issue. He's still learning and has already fixed plenty of things at my other properties without a problem. I can call a plumber in 2 days." I know he could have called the plumber the same day. It was still midday during the call. But he had clearly chosen not to, just because I hurt his son's ego, and he doesn't want to spend a few extra bucks. So, OP, a-hole or no?
First off, I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
Yeah.
Just sending somebody in like that?
If they are not a licensed plumber, or if it's an electrical problem, and you are doing this as a landlord for a business, I'm pretty sure it is illegal to send somebody without like a licensed. I can do this basically.
You know,
Or
I think you got a point, because that might get into like liability issues and all that.
that's
'cause, like,
liability.
yeah, if they're not a professional and they mess it up and like cause all sorts of water damage, then yeah, who's on the hook for that?
It's the landlord.
Yeah.
I am pretty sure that is, or maybe not illegal, but
Interesting.
like
But definitely like unlawful.
very much frowned upon. Yeah, unlawful.
So not only are they trying to save a few quick bucks, but they're like clearly,
Because
not
I
doing
don't know
their-
this for a fact. I'm not a landlord, but I'm pretty sure when you are renting or leasing properties,
Mhm.
you have to hire a licensed handyman to fix these problems. If it's
So,
your
like,
own
it's
house,
in their own best
sure.
interest too, to like,
Yeah,
hire
it
a
is. I don't know
professional.
why you wouldn't, but
jeez,
well, to save a quick buck, but
yeah.
I don't know
I
if it's
could-
worth it because that quick buck. Sorry, go ahead, Scott.
I could understand it if it was like your son, but your son was like an actual licensed carpenter and you can get like a discount
Yeah,
because like friends and family, or even if like it's not illegal to have your son come in, but your son's like going into the trade of becoming a licensed
Yes.
plumber, not some accountant.
right.
Well, so the way that works is they would be, if he's going to be an accountant. If he was going to be a plumber, he would be an apprentice,
Yeah.
right? And then from apprentice, you work, I don't remember all the titles, but
But
in
like,
electricians, at least the highest one is journeyman. And there's different tiers, but you start as an apprentice, and when you're an apprentice, it means you're still just kind of learning this stuff, and you will always be with another electrician to make sure you're doing everything properly of
Right.
higher than apprentice tier or more. And then above apprentice, I'm sorry. You guys can let me know in the comments if you know. I don't remember what it's called, but at that point, that's when you can be licensed to start your own business, or you can be a licensed electrician and you can do stuff by yourself. And then at the step above that's when you can train apprentices. And then master, I think, is actually above journeyman. I think. And
In
it's similar
Minecraft
for
villager
plumbing.
hierarchy, yes. So
Yeah,
I would assume so.
Yeah, and
But
I think
it's like-
master's the highest, and that's if you.
the landlord's son is going to school for accounting, and
so
he's
that's-
just
that's shady.
the landlord is just being like, "Oh, I'm gonna pinch every penny I can." My son knows how to do it.
And like,
But bro didn't even have the tools.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Even if he was like an apprentice, and he didn't show up with someone higher, he at least there would be someone above him to call if something went wrong.
Yeah.
In this case, if he had done something wrong, guess I'm YouTubing it. And he posted pictures on Reddit. Like, that's a no.
It would be like
Right.
someone contracting like me to go chop down a tree. Like,
Yeah.
I have never done that before. I don't have the tools.
You
I
can
have
figure
no
out how to do it,
experience.
but like,
And
Yeah.
how much
cause millions of
injury could cause.
damages.
Yeah.
It's like, for instance, today at my mom's house. Now, she owns the house, so it's not really unlawful or illegal, anything like that, if I were to fix stuff in her house, which I
It
do.
might
I'm a
be.
custodian, right?
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, I have basic knowledge in electrician, in sprinkler systems, in plumbing, in like I know how to unclog a sink. I can take a toilet off the wall and unclog that, whatever. Right? I have basics in
yeah.
that because I do building maintenance.
That's all this was too. Just real quick for the record, it was just a clogged sink. Anybody could just clear that out with Drano. Like, how does this kid not know how to? Anyway.
Well, possibly.
Tangent.
So here's the thing:
Drano or a snake.
If your P trap is clogged by, like, for instance, say you have a child with a bouncy ball, and they manage to drop it in the sink, it gets down in there, and that clogs up. Drano ain't going to clear that out. You need that it's hard to take a P trap out and get things out of it. A P trap's easy. It's 2 screws, pop it down, run some water through, it'll come loose and dump whatever it is out. Pop the P trap back on. However, it sounds like he didn't even know what a P trap was. For those of you that don't know, if you look under your sink, it goes like this. That right here, that's the P trap. The part that curves up and goes like this. And what that's for is when there's water coming down, it'll push up and over the curve. But if there's heavy things that's going to clog pipes, it traps it down there, and then your clog's in that piece that just pops off instead of deep in your pipes.
Or hair. Hair can get clogged on it, especially if you live with a family of like people with long hair.
Yeah,
that clogs sinks.
With science teachers, it catches sand.
Yeah, that would do it
all
too.
All sorts of stuff. But it sounds like he didn't even know what that is, because the first thing, if you have a clogged sink, here's a tip for you. First thing you should do, pop that P-trap off. See if there's a clog in the pink trap. If it is, snake that sucker real quick, pop it back on, you're good to go. If it's not, call a plumber.
Yeah. Or pour a Drano out and see if it's somewhere beyond the P-trap that Drano will clear. But.
Or if you can get an auger. Augers are useful. Those will usually get things out. So, sorry, I could tangent about this for ages because I do this kind of stuff all day.
It sounded like a simple fix, though, and the fact that bro had to go get tools. Well, I can understand you might need something to get the P-trap off if it's a tighter nut, like on there, and you don't have the grip strength, so you need leverage to get that off. But bro was confused, so I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah, so
what was that one like hydraulic toilet plunger that we talked about during the Crazy Inventions episode? I don't remember exactly what it was, but that'll do the trick too.
I wouldn't use that on a sink.
I would for fun.
Well, I would. you could if you got the right one and you took the P-trap off and did it from down there. But I wouldn't hydraulic plunge from the top of the sink. I don't know though. I'm not a plumber, and nor do I claim to be. I know minor plumbing things and minor.
Can we start at the beginning of this conversation real quick? I had something.
Yeah.
What about hydraulic plumbing?
Go watch the episode.
Yeah. We did like a Crazy Inventions episode, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but I found like a patent for like it was either like.
So what they are is they're high water pressure plungers. So they vacuum seal to like the toilet.
That was it. Yeah, it's like a pressure washer.
They pressure it through and nothing comes back out because it's all vacuum sealed.
Yeah,
they're so wonderful.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
But yeah, so either I will say no, you're not the a-hole for wanting that. However, if it was something in the P-trap, he probably could have handled it. So but if he needed to get tools, that tells me he's either not the brightest, and if he had to post on Reddit instead of just finding a 2-second video, because if it was in the P-trap, immediately. A video would come up like that, you'd be good to go.
Mhm.
But so if that tells me it probably wasn't, and at that point you do want a plumber, unless you've got an auger on hand and you know how to use an auger. But if the auger can't get it, you definitely want a plumber. So, but if you don't know how to use an auger, just don't. So
So the
that's
consensus
my take.
then, at least mine, I'm gonna say OP was not the a-hole.
I agree, but I need a little more detail, because if it was just a P-trap problem, you could have fixed that yourself.
Well,
there's just a big pipe
sometimes
fail.
you can get in trouble depending on what the lease agreement or the rental agreement is for
Yeah.
doing stuff like that. So
That's true.
Except for I'm going to tell you this right now. No one's going to ever know you took a P-trap off a sink.
unless you accidentally don't put it back on properly and flood the
Yes.
house.
You like
But
drop
you
it
would
out the
know
window
immediately
somehow.
if you didn't, and you won't flood the house. Water will just drip in. You'd be like, "Oh, cool, tighten this up." I kid you not, it's too nuts. Don't.
Oh, you will.
Don't. It's too
These nuts. Got him.
like
Yeah, I know.
Nuts
I've
and
seen.
bolts.
Keep motioning.
Nuts.
That'll
My dad.
nuts and bolts.
We had
nuts.
a clog in one of our
Nuts.
sinks, so my dad had
that'll
to
make it better.
Yeah.
take that off. I should
Um,
honestly do it for my upstairs sink. My grandmother keeps complaining about. My
Yeah.
sister has really long hair,
I
so well, I say really
I-
long. It's like shoulder length, but
oh well, that's long.
If it's
for-
the longest,
I've got
comparable to
shoulder
everybody
length.
else, like, you know.
actually, I think it's longer than. Anyway, that's details. But
Yeah.
it's an older house too, so plumbing is. I love this house. I also hate it.
That's fair. Yeah, I agree. Not the a-hole, but if it is just a
Yeah.
P-trap, bro, also not the a-hole, because if it was just the P-trap, it's a little concerning that Son could not figure that out. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I would
definitely
also
not
be
the a-hole,
concerned.
but
Accountants, man.
Yeah.
Cool. Story number 3. Am I the a-hole for not letting my boyfriend come on vacation with me because he's a picky eater? My boyfriend has tons of food restrictions and is picky in general. He basically can only eat chicken fingers, grilled cheese, mac and cheese, and pad thai. I've never seen him eat a vegetable. We just started dating a few months ago and I love him, but I eat everything and I'm very laid back. I know I will have to plan my entire day around finding food he can eat, on top of listening to him complain that things aren't the same. Even if a restaurant does have chicken fingers or mac and cheese, it won't be the same as what we get at home, and I just don't want to hear about it while I'm on vacation. Am I the a-hole? I feel bad. And there is an edit at the end of this too that we can circle back to once we have deliberated.
Okay, baseline. Don't take this the wrong way, but I don't like either of you right out the gate.
yeah. Well,
If
it's
you love someone, like actually do, it shouldn't matter that much. But also, the fact that he's just like, it's not the same as at home, that's
Mhm.
just stupid. Okay, both of you kind of don't. I don't love either of that.
Yeah, first off, it sounds like they shouldn't be together in the first place. But secondly,
Yes.
going to the boyfriend, I'm pretty sure you said food restrictions.
Yes.
But everything you
Yes.
mentioned there passes every single.
Yeah, that's not restrictions. That's
Yes.
just choice. And
Because
Yeah, she says
mac and cheese cancels out dairy and, well, okay, so dairy.
Mhm.
Chicken tenders kind of cancels out
gluten.
wheat.
Gluten in there, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think something else that was mentioned has soy in it.
Probably the pad thai.
The pad thai. Yeah.
And that also if the chicken nuggets are fried and breaded, that's
Yeah.
most of the time you fry those in peanut oil.
Peanut oil.
So it's like your 4 like main dairy, wheat, soy, and gluten, or dairy, wheat, soy, and tree nuts are in everything he likes to eat. Also, the fact that he doesn't eat vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, sorry, I recently discovered that I'm gluten free, so I know a lot more about food than I should.
That's true. He did. Well, what's this edit say? Because now I'm curious.
Oh, we'll get to that. I'll
Okay.
throw in here too. Like, I guess I don't know as much about like food restrictions. I just know that like it can be surprising sometimes because like a former mentor of mine, like a tomato would kill him,
Yeah.
which is like
I
crazy to me, you know, because that's like one of the healthy things, right? so
Mm-mm.
so it
Have
could
you
be
it's
looked at the
something in
health
surprising.
facts of
tomatoes, but yeah.
Tomatoes are not very healthy.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But anyway, but yeah, it's the food restrictions and is picky in general, is what she how she describes him.
Yeah. But that if you truly love someone, like truly, though they've only
Mhm.
been together for a few months, so maybe. But if you truly love someone, that doesn't matter.
Few months, I feel like you're still in like the talking, hanging
Exactly.
out
So
phase. Like you're
Mhm.
still getting to know each other.
yeah.
But I
So
don't. It's
I'll cut
like
her some slack on that. If they had been together for like a year and a half, I would 100% say yes. You are
yeah,
the a-hole.
Or it was like
because in like
a
your
long
typical
established sort
world,
of
Or if
like
they
that's
were married
almost
or something.
like yeah. But like your typical, that's like closer to when like people start to consider moving in together. Like,
Yeah, 2 months is still early, so I'll cut you some slack on that one.
but that's 100% understandable. Also, if you just want some away time from
Mhm.
everything,
Mhm.
Yeah, and especially if you're still dating. Like for me,
yeah.
if I need away time, there's one person I still want with me. That's my wife.
Hmm.
I pretty much my alone time, there's one person who fits into my alone time, and that's my spouse. I honestly feel less comfortable being by myself than I do when she's around.
Mhm.
So, but
Yeah.
we've been married for 8 years now. So
Yeah, like 2 months into the relationship, you
I
just need a
can't,
break.
I
But
can't,
it's like
yeah,
I
2 months
I
in.
shouldn't be speaking on anything with relationships, seeing as I've never
No,
been in
I
one.
agree
But
with you. 2 months in, that's totally fair.
Hmm.
But
especially if you want to take things slow and like not rush it, that seems very
yes,
reasonable. Like,
yeah. So I feel like I don't have enough detail yet to decide who the a-hole is.
Yeah. I feel like boyfriend's got to step it up. Like
Yes, I do agree
yeah,
with
food
that.
restrictions are food restrictions. And like you cannot like, you know, expect any sort of compromise there, like obviously. But
I
I
would need
feel
to
like
judge more based off of what food restrictions he has,
Mhm.
because
Well,
there are some more obscure ones like the tomatoes.
Right.
Like some people are allergic to avocados.
mhm.
Where this guy has like a set like chicken fingers, mac and cheese, and grilled cheese. I'm like,
But
That
only
just
if
those
it's
sounds
are
the
like
stuff
like
in their
the
freezer at home.
trifecta of just a picky eater, you know?
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
So I'm
And
like,
and
he only likes the stuff at home, not restaurants. That's just
right,
too picky.
right.
That's way
yeah.
too picky.
Yeah. So
Mac and cheese is mac and cheese. Okay,
So
hold on.
I am currently leaning towards no, she is not.
and I
That's what
think
I'm
I
Yeah,
am
saying.
too.
She's still like on the fence. She still bothers me. Boyfriend,
she has some work
definitely
to
though.
do,
Mhm.
but definitely
Yeah,
boyfriend
boyfriend's
is.
much worse
Yeah.
from the sound of it.
So in this situation, he's in the wrong.
Yes,
But she might not be that great too.
yes,
Okay. I can live with that. You ready for the edit?
yes.
Yeah,
All right. Edit. I am breaking up with him. After seeing a glimpse into my future via your responses, I realize I cannot do this and it will eventually wreck us. Thank you.
Agreed. Agreed.
yeah.
There we
That's
go.
smart decision on
That's
her.
100%. I
Yeah.
agree with that.
Uh,
I 100% agree. If it's gonna like 2 months in, I can understand needing a break for a second, but if
Mhm.
it's enough that you're like,
still,
I
like, getting
can't
to
even
know
take
each
a
other, you
vacation
know?
away with you, that's good. 2 months in is a great time to. It's so much better than if you've been together for super long. Like, can you imagine if this had bothered you the whole time you were dating and you never said anything, and then you got married and eventually just decided that you were miserable?
yeah,
And I've seen that. I've seen it a lot of times. So
yeah.
Yeah.
now
Uh,
I definitely am more. I'm way more on the side with
Boyfriend
it.
feels like he's got a couple red flags.
He's got to
Yeah.
figure some stuff out.
Yeah, I would be curious to see how their first date went. If it was like your typical restaurant, or if
Probably
they
Or it was, like,
went,
McDonald's or something.
if they went on like a walk in a park or went to a movies or something.
Mhm.
Because
Side note
I
though. Oh,
feel
sorry. I thought
like
you were done.
first date, you're like eating mac and cheese chicken tenders,
In
and
my
he's
case,
complaining about it.
That
That
should
that
be
is
like, yeah. That should have been a dead
Like
giveaway.
mac and cheese and chicken tenders, I don't think that would be a bad first date if you're like at a casual place or like at the fast food truck. But if he's complaining about it too, I feel like that's an immediate red flag.
On a first date, though, it could have come up too as like, oh, I've got these food restrictions.
Yeah.
And then, kind of like complains about it a little bit. You're going to, on a first date, you're probably going to give them a little grace because they're like,
Yeah.
You're learning about the person, you're learning about their food restrictions and all that. And like, oh, that's so sad that you can only eat this stuff, but then
I complain a little bit too much about my food restriction.
I mean, there you go. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, after a few months though, it's like, okay, yeah, like if it's getting old, it's getting old.
That was the right choice.
Although, to be fair, if you've ever had a gluten-free burger bun, you would probably be a little upset too.
So
they are so dry.
Side note, you were saying McDonald's first date, terrible. 8 years into marriage and 3 kids later, McDonald's dates slap.
Nice.
Wait, did I say that or
no?
Yeah,
I said that.
Okay.
Did.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I agree.
Wait.
As a first date, probably not too impressive to go to McDonald's.
We do go to McDonald's, me and my wife, and I got
same.
the grimace egg from the Minecraft
Oh,
meal.
nice.
Yeah.
I don't like. Yeah, if you're married already, like, or you're like months deep into a relationship, but even then, if you're like, I don't know.
And it sounded like she was annoyed with it, right? So
yeah,
her recognizing that annoyance and going, "This isn't going to work out," that I agree with.
Yeah.
And
also,
so
good for her, because like, sure, might hurt the boyfriend's feelings to get broken up with over food, but like, if you're not going to be happy with that, like,
then don't try.
You're under no obligation to do so,
Correct. So,
and hopefully it'll make him a better person in the end.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Maybe not though. But yes, after hearing that edit, I'm completely on board with girlfriend here.
OP is not the a-hole. All right. Cool. Story number 4. Am I the a-hole for refusing to attend my sister's wedding or give a gift after she invited my ex and not my wife? My 32-year-old sister. Oh no, I'm a 32-year-old.
Hate to interrupt you here, but just from that title, immediate red flags, like
all over.
But
alarm system going off, like crashing the ship, like, and like immediately it's like, I feel like you're already not the a-hole here.
Yeah, but let's hear the story because so far I 100% agree.
All right. OP, 32-year-old woman, sister, 28-year-old. My sister is getting married in a few weeks. She recently sent out the official invites, and while I was included, my wife was not. When I asked about it, my sister told me the decision was intentional. She says she wants her wedding to be as peaceful as possible, and that she doesn't feel comfortable having my wife there. For context, my wife and sister have never gotten along particularly well. There's no major incident or explosive history, just mutual dislike and a few passive-aggressive exchanges over the years. That said, my wife has always been respectful at family gatherings, and I've never seen her act out. What makes this worse, though, is that my ex-girlfriend, who I dated for 4 years before meeting my wife, is invited. My sister remained friends with her after we broke up 6 years ago. I didn't love it, but I never made an issue out of it. Still, it's incredibly hurtful to see that my sister would rather include someone from my past, someone I haven't spoken to in years, over the person I've chosen to build a life with. I told my sister I wasn't comfortable attending under these circumstances, and that I wouldn't be sending a wedding gift either. I said if she doesn't recognize my wife as part of the family, then she shouldn't expect me to play along with the celebration as if everything is fine. She accused me of being petty and trying to punish her for setting boundaries. My parents have since called to say I'm overreacting and I should just go and keep the peace. To me, this feels like more than a disagreement. It feels like a fundamental lack of respect for marriage. But the families think I'm making it about me. Am I the a-hole for refusing to attend the wedding and declining to give a gift because of how my wife has been treated?
Absolutely not. If you truly love your wife, that was the right move.
Yeah,
nobody comes before my wife.
I kind of feel like I don't have any really room to speak or any perspective on this, but I feel like not sending a gift is a little harsh, but
I
understandable.
Might still send a gift, but
it's like you don't want any conflict. Now, again, it's a sister special day. Like it,
Yeah.
hopefully, it only happens once. You know, special day.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully, only happens once. Like I can understand you not wanting conflict there to draw attention from your special day. But then you invited the ex and your brother, because I feel like that's going to
Brother
be
or
tension
sister?
there.
I didn't
Or
catch that.
right? I'm assuming brother.
They're all women.
No. Yeah, okay.
Oh,
That's
are
what I
they?
thought.
Okay.
So it was sister. Sister. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, no, I'm on OP's side
Yeah,
all the way.
the ex, inviting the ex and OP is kind of like you don't want tension because of the wife, but then you're creating a
You're creating
tension.
it by inviting.
Mhm.
I don't care if you and their ex are friends. If you're inviting them, it's gonna be awkward, and it probably
Yeah.
will cause contention. They broke up because they didn't work.
Yeah, it'd be even like kind of weirder seeing as
It would be
the
way weirder.
current wife isn't
If
there.
I'm being honest with you, it sounds like sister and family might be a tad homophobic. Just saying.
Yeah,
It might be, except they
I
invited
don't know
the
if that's
ex, though.
true.
They didn't have.
Yeah,
a
but that's
problem
because
with
they
that.
were friends. That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is just my general feel from the story so far.
yeah, it's
So
just
I could
kind
be
of
wrong
like
about that. But if I got invited to a wedding or anything like that, and I was specifically told your wife, I don't want your wife there,
Mhm.
I'd tell them, all right, well, you're not going to see me there then. Sorry.
Right.
Love my
Yeah.
wife.
And
She's
I think
number
that's
one.
justified.
And if as long as they didn't overreact and be like, well, you know what, I don't. If you're gonna choose your wife over me, then whatever. Then, like understanding, like say my younger brother was getting married, him and Brooke get along just fine. To be clear,
Mhm.
but if for some reason he was like, I don't want your wife there, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna attend though, then I'm sorry, I love you, but she comes first, and he didn't respond with anything other than, I understand that, and I would feel the same way about the person I'm marrying. Great, mutual agreement. I'd still get him a wedding gift, but it sounds like she reacted poorly. Like
Hmm.
you don't even care about me then because you're choosing your wife over me.
yeah.
Sorry, wife's number one. I love all of you, family. That if you're watching this, all of my family members, I love all of you, but she comes first.
Immediate family comes first,
Yeah,
and your immediate family is wife and kids. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of little iffy. I can understand like not getting them a present because they're just like blowing it out of proportion and being completely
Yes.
rude. So you don't want to like.
And that's what it sounds like is everyone's trying to say you're overreacting, you're being so mean. And if they did the same, I would send a gift if everyone was on if
I
it
think
was
like a good
chill,
heartfelt
but
gift would be like the classic way to like try and diffuse it at least.
I agree,
No.
but and I think I probably would unless they were just being like visceral about it, right?
Hmm.
And it,
So-
yeah, it's the whole thing kind of feels a little off to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
it feels like there's some.
I feel like
something
I
We're
don't
missing
really
some key
wanna
details.
take
I would-
any real side here because like I can see some valid points on both sides, but I also see big red flags on both sides.
Yeah,
And like the family saying like just go and keep the peace. I'm like that's a big red flag too because it's like oh the family getting involved and being like the keep the peace line. I'm like ew, that gives me the ick.
Yeah, that same.
Yeah.
Keeping the peace is respecting each other.
yeah.
Right.
And,
It's yeah.
I respect that you don't want my wife there, but you need to respect that because I love my wife
Right.
and I don't appreciate that you don't want her around, I'm not going to attend. And you need to respect that decision as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Even me personally, if it was like for my wedding, I would really like to have like as much family there as possible. So if like let's say my sister and uh her ex, like I was still good friends with her ex, but I would rather have her there than the ex. I'd be like, hey,
Mhm.
I don't really want things to be awkward. I'd reach out to the friend being like, hey, I don't want things to be awkward. Are you
Yeah.
okay if like you come, but like try and stay away, or like not like stay away, but
the
like
conversation shouldn't have been your wife's not invited. The conversation should have been invite both, but just have a little chat. Like, yes, your ex is
yeah,
going to be there because I'm good friends with her, but just keep it civil. And
Mm-hmm.
if your wife's going to have a problem with that, just stay away from each other. You're good.
yeah,
But like, to be clear, I personally, this is my personal opinion, I think wife should have been invited. Either way,
Yeah.
wife should have just been invited.
I agree.
Even
I
if
feel
you and
like
wife don't get
empathize
along
with
that
the
great.
sister. I empathize with the sister because if it's your wedding, you want it to be perfect, and you only want
Mhm.
people
Yeah.
there that you love.
Which I get, but
Having right, being an adult is also understanding that like your wedding, as much as it is all about you, is not just for you,
yeah,
because your family wants to be there. And I mean, if it's a healthy family, right, they want to be there and like support you. It's for
Yeah.
everybody that you love to come there and like celebrate your wedding, right? So like, as much as you want it to be perfect and all about you, it's not. And like the
No.
good news for the sister is, had she just been classy and like invited the wife anyway, even if she didn't want her there, weddings are so busy, you're not even gonna like run into her,
No.
right? Like she'll come
Yeah.
through the lines, she'll say
Unless
congrats, and you'll be keep a civil face for like half
Mhm.
3 seconds, but like you're fine, like it's not that big a deal. I think
I
yeah. So the wife should have been invited, but short of that, a gift should have been sent. I think is kind of
Yes,
where I'm
I do
standing.
agree. A gift should
yeah.
have been sent. Go ahead.
It does feel like, Luke, I have a couple points here, but it does feel like with the gift, yeah, this is not the first time like something this has happened, so
Mhm.
there's kind of built up resentment. But also going back to the point you said, Nate, where it's like the day is supposed to be about you, like it's your special day. That does not lead you to a sense of entitlement.
Mhm.
It's like,
No.
yes, it's your day, but you don't get to be entitled about it
Which,
because you still have to treat everyone as a human being.
Mhm.
real quick point insert here. It's funny you say that because if you were to ask me, if you're doing like a why can't I think of what it's called when you do the party part of the wedding after
The reception.
the reception? The reception's not about the bride and groom.
Yeah. Yes.
Not
That's
thank you for
about
at
that.
all.
family.
The
That's
reception
about
is
family.
for everyone else. The
Mhm.
bride and
Yeah.
groom make an appearance. They're there for 15, 20 minutes, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
Almost every time. And then everyone else stays and has a little catered party. So, sorry. Wife should have been invited.
It,
Unless, which it doesn't sound like this is the case from stuff that was said, unless wife goes out of her way to be mean to sister,
Right.
which sounds like that's not the case.
no, it
Right.
just sounds like they
But
just don't like agree on things, so they just kind of
and
butt
you know what?
heads.
You're not going to
Mhm.
agree with everyone, so get over it. That's
Yeah.
where I'm at.
From my understanding of a reception, it's like you're gonna have since this is such a big event, you're gonna have a bunch of family coming in, family and friends that may not have got to see each other, and to keep that attention on the bride and groom of the wedding day, you have that so everyone can get caught up, meet each other, get to see everyone, have some fun with the bride and groom for a bit, but it's about drawing attention away from the wedding on a separate night, so that way the wedding night or day can still be about solely the bride and groom.
Yeah. So, the real answer is yes. Sister or wife should have been invited. Sister should have invited wife.
Mhm.
Short of that, though, a wedding gift still probably should have been sent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I would
I
also be
think-
interested in seeing the wedding lineup, like bridesmaids and that, to
Mhm.
see, because I feel like there may have more to play in it too.
Yeah.
Especially if X is a good friend and sister might also be a bridesmaid.
That could be
'Cause
some
it's-
problems, but you can have that conversation. That is a conversation
Yeah.
I had to have at my wedding. I had to talk to two people and say, look, I love you both, but you need to be friends for a little bit, okay? And they did. They did just fine, and it all was good. Because if you're a respectable person, you will listen and respect someone's request on
Yeah.
their wedding day.
Just be an adult, please.
Yeah. So my final answer is I think sister overall is being the a-hole by not inviting wife.
Mhm.
But OP, you need to step it up just a tiny bit. You should have at least sent a
Yeah.
gift.
Be the bigger person.
Yeah.
You know, it's their special day. Give them a gift.
Unless there is some serious thing that happened in the past that you're not telling us about, you should have sent a gift.
Yeah. I kind of feel like there's something underlying that we didn't get full context in. Because
That's
it, like
what
you
I
said
wonder.
before, the family might seem a little be a little homophobic,
Yeah.
or maybe like this OP is not maybe the favorite child and the sister is.
It's the
'Cause it sounds like
peace line
sisters-
that really like
Yeah,
makes me
It's
hesitate.
the s-
that's yeah, I agree. That just gives me the ick.
It kind of sounds like from what you said of the ages, the OP is the older sister, so it kind of sounds like
Mhm.
the
Hmm.
other one might be the younger, more entitled sister.
Maybe that's what I wonder too.
That's what I have from hearing a lot of these, like, am I the a-hole stories, what, like, similar to this one. When you get a little bit more context and background in childhood, it's like, oh, this, sister that's getting, like, the bride sister is, like, always been favored, they've treated her like she could do no wrong,
Mhm.
kind of thing.
Yeah, that's not okay either.
So, yeah, definitely sister, OP needs to step it up, but the bride sister definitely needs to.
I think sister is the overall a-hole, but OP maybe. No, just
Yeah.
be the bigger person. I'm not telling you go to the
Little-
wedding because I
little
understand that completely, but
A-holeness
still should
to
have
go
sent a gift, I
around,
think.
but okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think we got time for one more, and I'm curious
That's
if you
perfect.
have
I've
one
got
where you
one
think
more.
the poster is the a-hole.
I-
But if you only have one more, then we'll find out.
We'll find out. Yeah. Am I the a-hole for expecting to get what I had asked for my 30th birthday?
That title makes me sound like this person's the worst.
Mhm.
Let's find out.
Unless it's not something expensive, then I can understand that.
It was my 30th birthday last month. Prior to this, my girlfriend asked me what I wanted from her, and I said I'd like a small get-together of just a few close family and friends. There's a bar near us that lets you book the place out for free if you have at least 15 people, as it's a small place, so I mentioned possibly going there. My birthday came and I got nothing like that. I got a card and a couple little gifts from my girlfriend, but no gathering or any sort of celebration. I was upset at this, and my girlfriend asked me why I was upset, and I explained to her. She said it would have been a hassle trying to get everyone together and would have took a lot of work to organize. I told her she knew how much it would have meant to me, and she literally asked that she literally asked what I wanted from her, and then chose to ignore it. I said it hurts hearing her say I'm basically not worth the effort. She said I should have done it myself then, but I pointed out that you don't organize your own birthday party, and she is the one who asked me what I wanted from her. She said I was trying to guilt trip her, but I told her I was just expressing how I felt about it. She said I was being too unfair and that I should be happy with what I got. I told her she doesn't get to tell me when I can and can't be upset, and that it obviously hurts knowing your partner doesn't care enough about you to try to organize what I wanted for my birthday. She said again, I was guilt tripping her and deliberately trying to make her feel bad. Am I the a-hole for expressing my upset that she'd ignored what I asked from her for my birthday?
Everyone's an a-hole in this story.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like.
Okay.
I would be curious to see how long this relationship has been together since we
Yeah.
mentioned. But first off, birthday, you love them, you love your partner enough, you would go, like, it should be worth the hassle, especially because you don't even have to, like, if you have enough people, which a smaller gathering, 15 people is not that big.
No.
Like 15 to 20, I would still consider that a small gathering, especially for someone's birthday, because that's like all immediate family, like all in like somewhat immediate family, like aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, and some maybe, a couple family friends. That's
Yeah.
about
Your
15,
immediate
20
beloved.
people, depending on the size of your family.
Yeah.
So you don't have to rent this bar out. He obviously likes the bar, or sure he wouldn't have suggested it.
Yeah.
You know, then you
So,
gotta, but it's like you're not even worth the effort, and then you're trying to like
Yeah.
gaslight your boyfriend into like saying that he's guilt tripping you.
yeah.
Now, I do
so-
say the asshole is kind like the boyfriend could kind of be the asshole here.
Yeah.
about complaining about it, but also it's like girlfriend needs to step it up a lot.
I agree that the girlfriend's an a-hole for everything you just said. It sounds like he tried to express her feelings and she just said, "Oh, shut up, crybaby," to put it short.
Yeah.
However, if I'm almost 30, and if I'm being honest with you, if that's what I wanted for my birthday, I'm not going to ask anyone to do that for me. Just put it together. So that right there, that's really like, come on, if that's what you wanted, you should have just done it. But also,
Girlfriend
girlfriend's way
asked.
worse for just completely
Mhm.
pushing his feelings aside and telling him to put it short, man up.
Yeah.
Mm.
But it's like also the girlfriend specifically asked what he wanted from her
Yes.
for his birthday. I could understand if the girlfriend said like, "Hey, I'll try and organize this, but could you lend me a hand? Because it's the 30th." I can understand
Yeah.
like maybe 18th, 20th, or even like 16th birthdays, because those are normally like the bigger
Yeah, those are big
milestones,
birthdays.
or like a 40th or 50th. Because
50,
once you
yeah.
get up to those age years, those tend to get more like milestone birthdays.
Yeah.
30 kind of feels like middle of the road. It's like,
Not a huge
you're
deal,
30
but
now.
I do
Congratulations, you're
agree.
old.
I think overall, girlfriend's the a-hole here.
Yeah.
For just completely ignoring his feelings. And it sounds like, I don't know for sure because I wasn't there, and he could just be saying, right? He could just be saying how he portrayed it when in all reality he maybe said other stuff. I don't know though because I wasn't there. So
Yeah.
from what we have alone, it
Mhm.
sounds like girlfriend's the overall a-hole for just completely taking their significant other's feelings and saying, those are dumb. Get over it.
So I'm actually going to hard disagree with both of you.
Yeah?
I think boyfriend is entirely in the wrong here, and I'm going to let the girlfriend off scot-free. And here's why. I think Taylor had a really good point here.
In this, yeah.
30 years old, you should be
You
capable
should
of
be
planning your own
organizing it
birthday,
yourself.
especially when it's like a get together with your favorite people at your favorite place. Like that should not be that hard to organize. So it's all just part of being an adult, And as you get
Yeah.
older, it gets so much harder to like actually plan and schedule
It
these
does.
things out.
I agree
So
wholeheartedly.
if you want that for your birthday, you got to make it happen.
Yeah.
To his point that like you don't plan your own birthday party, like
No, I
if you
disagree with
don't
that.
want a birthday party, you don't plan a birthday party,
Exactly.
right? Like, and I say that full disclosure. My wife has probably planned more birthday parties for me than I have.
Yeah.
Not because I expected her to, but because
She wanted to.
she wanted to surprise me. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I didn't really have any like plans on my horizon. I was just like, oh yeah, birthday, sure, cool, whatever, But like then she came and surprised me with that. Anyway, so that little disclaimer out of the way.
Yeah.
If you want that birthday party, you've
Plan it
got to plan
yourself.
it. If
Yeah,
these
and
guys are just boyfriend girlfriend, I'm expecting they don't have any kids right now. They're 30 years
Yeah.
old.
Mm-hmm.
Careers are real things.
They are.
I'm betting these two are busy and they are working, and to expect like this extra time commitment of your girlfriend to put this together for you, like I think it's a lot to ask.
I agree.
And then to get
Yeah,
to
it
the
does feel
whole
like a big ask, though.
It is a
Right.
huge ask, which is why I say they're both, because I can't let the girlfriend off the hook for just ignoring him trying to talk about his feelings.
But to
That's
get
the
to
part I
that
can't.
point, though, I don't think that's what's going on here.
Okay.
Let's see it again. Would have been a hassle trying to get everyone together, and it would have took a lot of work to organize. So, if my assumption here is correct, and like they're both working professionals,
Yeah.
that is a big ask, And so
It is.
she considered it. She realized it was going to take too much work, and so she settled with getting him gifts, right? Instead, I think he just kind of, this is a big, big word in the AITH Reddit space, but overreaction.
Yeah.
I told her she knew how much it would mean, and literally asked what I wanted, and then chose to ignore it. I think that's really just like kind of oversimplifying it here. You know, like it's
That's fair.
discrediting her a lot. Of just
And
being
that's
like,
why I say
"You
I don't know what the
specifically
conversation
chose
was, right?
not to," you know.
Yeah, I would like to see the girlfriend's perspective on this.
Yeah, that's the big thing for me because from the story I have right now, I think both of them are assholery. But
Mhm.
if I had more of this girlfriend side, I might be flipped on that because I don't think it should end in an argument. And from the way he's portraying it, it sounds like she just kind of shrugged what he was saying off.
Mm-hmm.
Which in my book, there should have still been a conversation about that. Like, no, I'm not going to plan your party when you're 30 years old, but here's
Right.
why. Let's talk about it, right? From what he's saying, it sounds like she just kind of went, no, sorry, and just left it at that.
I
That's
would say
not the way
she'd
it
be
sounds.
less of an
Okay, and
asshole if
that's
she.
fair.
I would say she'd be less of an asshole if she like upfront said, "Hey," when he asked like, "I want to do a small get together," I'd be like, "Hey, if the girlfriend said, hey,
Yeah.
we both have careers, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of a bigger ask. I know you said small to get together, but it's still kind of a bigger ask.
So what if we plan it
What
together
if
or something?
yeah, we could plan it together, or if we settle for something a bit smaller, just the two of us, and then maybe a couple days down the road or a week or two, then we celebrate it. Depending on what she's asking. If she's asking like a couple weeks before his birthday, you could try and plan it for the birthday, like the birthday
Yeah.
weekend before or after. It kind of feels like both sides need to work on their
Stuff.
relationship skills.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I probably not disclaimer, I said it once. I've never been in a relationship. I've never even been on a date. So,
But, yeah.
And I'll give you guys this point. The line she says, or he says, she said I was being too unfair and that I should be happy with what I got. I will see that point. The whole
Yes.
be happy with getting anything at all. Like
Yeah.
that part feels a little bad.
that feels entitlement on the girlfriend side, saying
Yeah. So
just be happy and
But
paying
in the
attention to you.
context, though, of the boyfriend coming after her and being like,
yeah.
"You ignored me. You don't care about me." Like, it's really easy to get like defensive and like
And
Yeah.
I do
like that.
agree with that. That's why I say, just in my book at least, I think they're just both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
they
I don't
both
have the full
definitely
story,
need to
so
step it up. I feel like there needs to be work on their communication skills in this relationship.
yes, that's what I'd
Um,
say.
Definitely, because like I said before, and we brought it up, they have careers. Like you're in your 30s, you've got to work on your career because you're about halfway to retirement age at that point. So you have to make sure you have your
Whoa.
retirement secured for your future.
Yikes.
I know, Nate. Breathe. We're halfway to retired.
Jeez. Not yet. Hey,
I actually am. Well, I mean, I'm not actually, but yeah.
65 is what the retirement age. So
I can retire with a pension at 54. So,
well,
but like
okay.
it's
Okay.
you're you're close to halfway to retirement, so you have to make sure you have
But
your retirement secured because it takes it takes years to get that built up to where you can live comfortably, especially with inflation and stuff. So like I understand not the stress of it, not being able to, especially depending on what careers they are and what shifts they have. Like totally understandable not being able to plan it, but I feel like that should have been communicated up front
yes,
and they could work something out.
I agree with
But
that.
also, he's not at all the asshole for trying to communicate his feelings. Sorry, Dev, you're probably gonna have to bleep that.
Yeah, he's gonna have a lot of bleeps.
But it's like he's not at all in the wrong for trying to communicate his feelings. It's the way he went
No.
about it and what he communicated
Yes.
them about.
And then after, it does. I agree with you. It sounds like he was kind of coming after her there.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to let her off the hook for not communicating.
Yeah. It feels like they need to work on their communication skills and
Not just
whatnot.
in the argument section, but before when he brought up what he wanted. That
Yeah.
should have been a conversation. So in my book, you got to know how to communicate. So I just say both a-holes, but
And I'll
I
give
can
you
see
guys
where you're
that.
coming from as well.
I wouldn't say both necessarily a-holes. I would consider it more you both have issues.
Well, yeah, but just in the context of am I the a-hole? The
Yeah,
answers are
in that
usually
context,
no
yes,
a-holes,
both.
all a-holes. You're the a-hole. This person's the a-hole. That's pretty much
right.
So in the
Yeah,
context
both
of that,
a-holes in this
both.
one. Yeah.
They're basically just saying they're both in the wrong.
I would love to see like a follow-up edit to see
Sure,
how
yeah.
things went smoothed
Yeah.
over.
No, I'm
But that's just
firmly in the camp of OP is the a-hole, and I'm letting the girlfriend off
That's
free
fair.
of charge.
I can see where you're
Because
coming from.
I think her getting defensive, that's just human foibles.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you're the a-hole
That-
getting defensive like that.
And that's why I wish I knew her point of view, because
But
if
I
it
have
was like that, I
no
agree.
respect, zero respect for men who go after their partner like that and like
Yeah.
deliberately try to make them feel bad. That's where you've lost
Yes,
me.
I don't respect that either,
So,
and I agree with that. But
I
for
think hers
that
can be written off as just human error. But
for the
he-
conversation after his birthday,
I see what
when
you're
the gift he
saying.
received, I would say definitely he is the a-hole, like one-sided, he is the a-hole. But for the whole story, like in the beginning, she's the a-hole, and then halfway through it flips to him being the a-hole after he gets his gift, and he's kind of ungrateful for the fact that she still put in effort into the conversation. I can understand the point of, getting defensive. We all do it. You get attacked. It's like you immediately go on the defensive. You don't think about it and what you say.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I just and with the both, I just mean they're both in the wrong here in some way, shape, or form. So,
Mhm.
and that's where I'm at. But I completely see where you're coming from, and yeah, husband. The more I think about it,
Yeah,
the more
that's
you
my
talk about
stance.
that,
I'm sticking to it.
It sounds like boyfriend is just an annoying person.
It's like, you're 30 years old. Grow up, dude. If you want to get
Yeah.
together with your friends,
boyfriend needs to work on some stuff too. Definitely more than just
At the
communication.
end
He's
of the
got some
day,
other.
in my 8 years of marriage, my wife has always gotten me a gift, but never once has she planned me a party. And that's not because she wouldn't.
Mhm.
It's because I'm like, hey, I'm an adult, babe. If I want a party, I'll just set up a party. And I do every year. We do raid sprints and stuff for my birthday every year. So, but I set that up because I want to do that.
Mhm.
So you're 30 years old, man. Sorry.
Yeah. And I feel like also it depends on your situation. Because, like, for, you, Taylor, we hang out, you kind of hang out with your friends on your birthday.
Uh-huh. Well, no, me and my wife go out to dinner every year on my birthday too. It's just not on the
Well,
same
like-
night I plan the raid.
But yeah, but like, for, we hang out with you as friends for your birthday. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
other people have small get-togethers with family.
Mhm.
Well, I
Maybe
do
have a
that
small
as well,
cake.
but that's just on Sundays.
But it's like, I guess it depends on your relationship with your family, how much you see each other, and schedules. Because, like, with my family, we don't really do birthday parties. We do when we're younger, but once we get adults, but it's like, we'll do the major milestones because we see each other. I was just actually over there at my uncle's house for dinner tonight. Him, me, my brother, mom, and grandparents were all over there, and his partner. So we were all over there for dinner. We're going over there tomorrow for, well, tomorrow's Mother's Day, so that's kind of an exception. But still, we hang out a lot, so it's not like,
Yeah.
and we'll normally send cards to each other or text each other happy birthday. It's like, that's our relationship with me and my family. It's like, if I'm going to do something for my birthday, it's going to be more my friends. I'm going to go out and hang with my friends because that's what I want to do on my birthday. I don't expect anything from my family.
Yeah.
But
we're gonna have to cut you off because we're an hour and 10 in.
yeah,
Though I will say, next time we do this, if you could, or whoever's hosting, send it to our Discord so that we can read it as well. If we have any questions, we can read back.
Okay.
Because points you made, I didn't catch when you read the story. That makes me lean more towards what you were saying.
Mhm.
Because what I caught of that, between the conversation of them, what I caught was the stuff about how it basically seemed like the girlfriend was gaslighting him.
Mhm.
But then you brought up stuff that I didn't catch where he came at her, right?
Yeah.
I missed that part. Knowing that, sounds like a disgusting human being.
Yeah, it reads really poorly for the post.
So next time,
he's definitely
let's
got
just
red
maybe send it
flags.
to the
Yeah.
Discord. Yeah. So,
Okay.
however,
remember that.
I'm sticking with both, but that's just in the context of, am I the a-hole? Meaning
Yeah.
they're both in the wrong there. Communication
Full
should have
story.
just happened.
Full story. Yes, they're both in the wrong. If we just had that final conversation,
But it
I would
sounds
say
like
definitely boyfriend.
boyfriend's more in the wrong, getting the
Yeah.
context that I missed when you read it. So
And that's where I'm at. OP's
I
the
agree.
a-hole. Girlfriend's totally cool.
So
But
Yeah.
cool.
he's definitely the bigger a-hole of the two. But just
And
communicate.
that's our topic. Yeah, please communicate.
Please
Yeah.
communicate.
We're gonna have
Like-
to cut this off now because like I just said, we're an hour and 10 in, hour and 12 actually now. But yeah.
And I hope
just-
Dev turned our pictures over.
Yes,
enough
Devin.
times.
If you didn't turn it over at the right moments,
We'll know when those were. You better.
yeah, you better. We don't, but you
You're
better.
fired if you don't. Sorry, I will become the
you'll
new
join
host.
Matt and Dan in the bin from the Rage stream last night.
And we'll get Val to edit these.
Yep. We love
And then
that.
I become the new host. This is all an elaborate plot.
And we will expect another apology taser video.
Yeah, where you actually take yourself.
And there we are.
Okay,
Thanks so
well,
much for watching. Taylor,
thank you
sign
all
us
for
out.
watching. I just lost my train of thought. Thank you everybody for watching. Come check out the gaming channel. I stream there at least 3 times a week. Ben streams there 2 to 3 times a week. And Devin will be set up to be streaming with us here soon. So come check it out. We have a good time over there. Link is in the description. Please go check out Scott. He streams anywhere from 1 to 7 times a week. So check him out. His link's in the description.
I stream a decent bit. It might change here with some personal situation stuff. But definitely go check me out on YouTube. Shadow Skeleton Gaming or Gaming. There's no G on the end of
Shadow Realm.
Shadow Realm, sorry.
Realm _gaming. I'll send it to Dev. Link, the @ will be right here. And there's also going to be a link in the description.
Yeah.
And thank you everybody for watching.
I also upload some shorts to TikTok, so maybe you'll find me there.
There you
There you
go.
go.
Yeah. Like, subscribe. Almost forgot that part.
All that.
It's
Anyways,
important.
bye.
Bye.